Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rappin with Sharon. Woo woo! Brought to you by Promise Resource Network. I know where I work. Let's see. Today, what we're going to talk about is personal responsibility in our recovery. Personal responsibility in our recovery. Miss Bunny may be in a little bit. She may be helping us out. But for right now, what I wanted to do was go over a couple of numbers. The first one is the warm line. The warm line, 24/7, Sunday at 3 a.m., whenever you need to call us. If you need to vent, if you need to process through some emotions, call us. If you need to get a resource, call us. Right? Like I said, we're there 3 o'clock Sunday morning. We're there at noon on Wednesday. So give us a yell. The staff that are on the warm line are good listeners. They're good listeners, compassionate, supportive people. So if you need us, call us. The number is 833-390-7728. That's 833-390-7728. All right. The next number I want to give you is our front desk number. If you need to get a hold of a specific peer support specialist, call our front desk. Kim will take care of you. If you want to know more about our services, if you want to just figure us out a little bit, get to know us a little better, call Kim. She's a great person to talk to. So that number is 704-390-7709. So if you need a specific peer support specialist or someone that's on staff here, give us a call, okay? Kim will help you. All right. So let me go to chat so we can see if anybody's out there yet. And Karen, how are you? Thanks for being here. So today we're going to talk about personal responsibility. Hey, Kim, I was just talking you up. Personal responsibility in our recovery. So from the 8 dimensions of wellness, there's a lot we're responsible for. Personal responsibility is one of the most important recovery, that I take charge, that I begin to take action on things that I can and maybe need to do to get my needs met in recovery, right? And we get those 8 dimensions, all 8 I like to do the 8 dimensions because I'm able to think about different sections in my world, in my life, in my person. And here's Bunny.
Hello.
All right, so Bunny's in the house. We got Karen and Kim on the line. So we're good. We're doing good out there. So personal responsibility within the 8 dimensions of wellness for our recovery. Sound good? Well, yes, it does. Let's go over intellectual first.
You're going to do intellectual?
See how Bunny does me? Intellectual, recognizing creative abilities and finding ways to expand knowledge and skills. So recognizing creative abilities and finding ways to expand knowledge and skills. I guess that recognizing ourselves.
And I think it means when we first hear intellectual, the first thing you go to is your IQ and stuff like that. But that encompasses far more than that.
It really does, because it talks about not just school. Yeah, not just school, not just math, not those things that we may think about when we hear intellectual. It is recognizing creative abilities. I am getting to know myself and what I'm about and what my gifts are, right? Where I can use that. Let me turn my phone off too. Where I can use that to identify the skills that I have, and expand knowledge and skills kind of goes along with that school stuff.
Well, it's learning to recognize your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on the other hand is to recognize your weaknesses as well. If numbers is not your forte, then that would not be something I would pursue in terms of a hobby or a career or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Well, that's not my strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to set myself up.
Absolutely. But sometimes we got to figure out what our strengths are. You know, I have had difficulties in that, especially early recovery, where you just, you know, I was still in that mode that I'm still damaged and I'm broken, that I'm, you know, and that's not how it is. We had strengths and abilities back in the day prior to recovery. We probably just have more now, which is cool. And I just like that. When I think intellectual, and I'm going to go to school, because when I didn't even think about going back to college. And when I was about 42, I was involved with a women's group that was doing the 12 steps. And I had no desire to go to school. I didn't, only because I didn't think I was capable. I really didn't think I had the intelligence to go back to school after 30 years. You know, that's a long time. And it was because these ladies really nurtured me and built me up. That's what I need to feed. That personal responsibility is to identify our strengths and run with them. You know, the beautiful thing about being gifted, as we all are, is we find what we like and we turn it into, right? So those things that gifted in, right? Your strengths, your abilities, and see how that can be used to get our needs met, right?
Well, and maybe that you tap into a whole lot of different stuff until you find out where your passion and your creativity and the intellectual all are in congruence.
Absolutely. It's not cut and paste, hit and miss sometimes. The next one is physical, recognizing the need for physical activity, diet, sleep, and nutrition. Recognizing the need. Well, I know I shouldn't really do the physical activity and diet. Really? Nutrition?
It's the recognition, recognizing that we know that.
That's the first word, recognizing. You're right. I know what to do. I just haven't chosen to do it yet, right? I know how to take care of my physical body. For me, that has to do with taking medication. That has to do with identifying what I am willing to do physically to make myself feel better, right? So physical is a one, but it really affects all the others. You know, we talk about hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Tired and hungry, we have the responsibility to fix those. I got some control in it. If I'm tired, maybe I need a nap. If I'm hungry, maybe I need to eat. These are things that I can have power over.
Well, and that impacts, well, a lot of it in the 8 dimensions. If one is out of sync with the other, it's not just that piece of the 8 dimensions of wellness, it impacts so many other things. Like if you are not taking care of your physical self, what is that going to feed into?
Yeah.
That's going to feed into the emotional.
Yes.
And
it affects everything.
I can't remember that.
Intellectual, physical. So we do have some control over that. Our physical bodies, and you're right, Bunny, it affects and infects the rest of us if we don't take care of that. If I don't take care of it well, if I don't do my basic stuff for my physical needs, I'm not going to be very functional. Because as my body shuts down, so does my mind and my spirit. Right? So.
Well, I had a cool class on Tuesday. It's The Shift Happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about who is in control. And I tapped into a beautiful, list of all of these things that are within our control. And that was a huge thing. What I eat, what I choose to eat, that is within my control.
Mm-hmm. And that's important because that's a lot easier than trying to deal with something that's beyond our control, where we have to get into acceptance and really try to figure out a different way.
Well, you don't have to do all those things at one time.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Maybe it is switching from full-blown Coke to perhaps a Coke Zero.
Yeah.
And it's just one step.
Yeah. And that's the easiest thing for me to getting there and doing is the hardest thing for me.
Because sometimes I think our brains are all or nothing.
Yeah.
We're going to go all forward, stream ahead, and if I can't do it, then I won't do it at all.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to work out 5 times this week.
Yeah, but congratulate yourself on choosing a side order of broccoli instead of French fries.
Yeah.
Congratulate yourself.
As we take care of ourselves, and that is part of it, that we reinforce that more beneficial behavior. Okay, the next one is occupational. Personal satisfaction and enrichment derived from one's work. Personal satisfaction.
Is that not necessarily going to work, getting a paycheck? That encompasses if you volunteer, if you take care of a household, if you are a student.
Mm-hmm. It is because we have all sorts of jobs throughout our lives. Not just that 9 to 5 that we may automatically think of. And that personal satisfaction, that being where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's that sweet spot.
Yeah. To be able to find my passion and be able to be employed in it, oh my God, it's gravy. It is the best thing. Because I've worked in jobs before where either my passion wasn't ignited, was too physically taxing or something like that. So we want to be able to find that thing. What do you love to do based on your strengths? Because generally, if we're good at something, if we're strong in a certain area, we're more likely to be passionate about it. So find that passion and then find somebody that'll pay you to do it. And sometimes, like with me, I spent 25 years in the special ed world as a teacher, as somebody who worked in group homes and workshops. I did everything around that. And it wasn't until I got into the mental health, substance use realm that I found my passion. I never taught adults before. And teaching is what feeds me. It feeds me. Hey, Sandy. Good to see you. And if you can get that enrichment, hello, derives from one's work. Absolutely. That enrichment, being able to use your work to move and gain skills and abilities. If you are working somewhere, sign up for everything. Hey, Tawanda. Oh, um, so find that thing. Find that thing. Ask you, what would I do if I won the lottery? Where would I volunteer and what would I do? Because that way you're not stuck. Because sometimes we can get stuck in that money part.
Well, and two, ask your good friends. What job do you think you'd see me in?
Yeah, because sometimes other people know our strengths better than we do. Right? So occupational is exciting. It's not just, it doesn't have to be defined, but there's nothing wrong with that. It meets our needs. It meets our needs. And if I'm not getting satisfied and enriched at work, maybe I need to go elsewhere for that part, right? I've had lots of jobs that I had to get fed outside of work. So find that thing that feeds you, feeds your spirit, and run with it. Hey, Michelle. Good. We got a lot of folks in here today. Thank you. All right, the next one is spiritual. Expanding our sense of purpose and meaning in life. Expanding our sense of purpose and meaning in life. Wow, that purpose thing. When we tap into that, when we know where we're supposed to be, doing what we are supposed to do.
It's design a mission statement for yourself.
Oh, nice.
Because if you look at lots of companies, they have these profound mission statements. Design and develop one for yourself.
Absolutely. That encompasses mind, body, and spirit, occupational, intellectual, all those things. I like that. What is my goal in this? What do I want spiritually?
And spiritual's it's who you deem your higher power. It's your connection to
something greater than ourselves.
Right.
Whether that, whatever that is, that feeds you, that strengthens you, that's that spiritual stuff that I like. I'm checking new messages. The growth, the adventure of it. Man, my spirituality has changed so much over the years. What I believe now is so different from what I believed when I came in. I was really stuck in a box spiritually.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about recovery is that not only do we don't bust out of that box, right? We don't get out of the box. We kick the walls down, kick the roof off. We're out of that.
Well, and I think certain life events and stages in your life really kind of change your concept of what your spirituality is based on life event is and what got you through that life event. So I agree with you. For me, it was my age and the past events in our life that has strengthened my spirituality and brought that hope and light.
Yeah. That being where we're supposed to be, knowing what we're supposed to know. Oh, that's good stuff. That really is. And it grows and grows and grows. At least that's my experience.
Me too.
It gets deeper.
It is far deeper than what I thought when I was much younger. It's much deeper for myself now. And not just her age, my age. I'm knocking on a big number. But it's just the events that has happened in the course of my life.
Yeah. The more time we spend on earth, the more chances that we're going to, have to get through difficult things.
Well, that's life.
Yeah, it is.
How do we get through it? higher power,
Yeah.
whatever your spirituality is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it grows and grows and grows, which is so cool. Just, what I thought in the beginning is so foreign to what I think now because it is more connected. I'm more connected to that support strengthens and feeds me, and takes care of me and comforts me in those difficult times. So spirituality is one of the greatest gifts I think I've received in recovery because it feeds everything else. Bless you. I didn't mean that for spirituality.
It's allergies.
Allergies, yeah, not good.
I have my thoughts.
So spirituality is key. It's one of the 8 dimensions, but it's a really big one, I think. Because when, in some literature I read, it says when I'm spiritually fit, I can go anywhere. And if I'm not spiritually fit, meaning I'm not, I haven't prepared for the day spiritually, however I do that, it might not be safe for me to get out of bed, right? Because I'm out of whack. I'm out of whack.
Again, this what we just said before. If it's not right in this piece of pie of the wellness wheel, it's going to impact all of those other ones.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, the next one is social. Developing a sense of connection, be ongoing and well-developed support system. A sense of connection. I like that.
I've had to change that mindset in the past year.
Yeah, this is true. COVID really, jerked my nerves.
Had to be creative.
Absolutely, with stuff like this, with Zoom, with using the phone, FaceTime, all those things that I think kept us connected to people, even though it wasn't the way I wanted it to be in person, where I could hug people and be connected in that physical way as well. But still connected spiritually, I think, is the way it worked out for me. That a well-developed support system, that's critical for me. There was a time in my life where, and I can tell you, 1997 is the exact date. Hey, Holly. I was in a situation where I was hurt on the job, and because of that, I was staying home for a long period of time, and I didn't go where I used to go to be around people, and I began to limit my interactions. It just kept getting harder and harder and harder to talk to my support people. And, if somebody calls you 10 times and says, how can I help? And 9 times you don't even answer the phone, they're going to quit calling. And to be honest, people quit calling because it didn't seem to do any good. And I was really isolated then. And I consider myself I felt like I was really, I hate this word, but weak in my spirit because I was so alone. I have taken I've used a lot of energy and taken a lot of time to build up my support network today because it's CYA and I got a big A. I need a village for me. And
we're social creatures.
Yeah.
That's how we're designed.
Yeah. Even if we don't like people, even if we
and that's true, but even a strong introvert has social connections.
Yeah.
A small group.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a huge conglomerate of people. If you've got a couple of really, really good friends that you could trust with your heart, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's It doesn't have to be a lot of people. They talk about having at least 5 people we can count on, 5 supporters in our lives. Because if the first person can't help us, maybe the second one can. They can't help us, maybe the third. So we're not burdening just one person.
We're spreading the love.
Yes, we're spreading the love of our needs. So, which, you're right, we are social beings. I seek that. I crave being around the energy that other people bring me. Because I get when I was alone during that time, I was very low in my energy. I couldn't produce what I needed to be effective in my life because I was so isolated. Michelle says we need social interaction to stay healthy. Absolutely. Hey, JC. JC says, I don't know how to find my support system. I feel so awkward and weird. I set myself up not being able to find friends and support, as if I don't deserve it. But that's my trauma speaking, I suppose. Absolutely.
Our fear and our fear of rejection, and fear of our self-perception keeps us at arm's length. Sometimes we battle all that in our own selves, and we feel like there's going to be people that's not going to like us.
Yeah.
Because we've manifested that so strongly in our brains.
Yeah. We're especially depending on the trauma we've had. If we've been rejected in the past, if we've been abandoned, if we've been, hurt in some way by people who really shouldn't have, that really, should have loved us better. But
it could be those choices, those relationships that were not in our control, the decisions that we made ourselves. But we're your tribe.
Yes, we're your people. That's what happened when I found my purpose. I found my people. I found the people that truly feed my spirit. That energy. And I know people that you just want to stand beside them because their energy is so good. Those are the kind of people I need in my life. Bunny's one of those people. But I don't stand beside her because I make her nervous. So. Anyway. Financial. Dun, dun, dun. Satisfaction with current and future financial situations. Well, we have possibility for that too. Satisfaction with current and future financial situations. If I'm motivated or I have a need or needs that require me I don't want to say significant, but more money than I'm making now, there are things I can do. Remember, in employment, we can get more education. We can do more things at the job. We can offer more time that we can work.
Well, sometimes in the light of what's happened in the past year, what I'm working in has dissolved, or maybe it's just now coming back up and running. And sometimes we may have to take on employment that we feel that doesn't feed us.
Yeah.
But it feeds us.
It feeds us. I am addicted to food and housing, so I want that to continue.
That's not a forever thing, but we do have to take that personal. I feel like for me, to take that personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that's less than what I feel has been my work history. If I need to bring the money in, I have to make some choices.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have that ability to choose. I'm waiting on the lottery, but that's my retirement goal. So, but there are things that I could do now. If I need more financial abilities to pay for stuff, maybe I can get another job or
financial advice. Maybe that's not your thing, but you don't know what, when, where, how. And sometimes that it could be the crux of some anxiety for you. But
Absolutely.
there's so much out there right now that you can tap into to help you.
This is the time to look for cash, because if you want to move into a certain direction, vocationally, however you want to do it, find a grant for yourself. Find that thing that you want to do, and then look for the money to do it. Right? We identify first that so we can get that thing that we really want. But financial is, there's a question on one of our forums that says, do you make enough money? Are you satisfied with the amount of money you make? Thus far, everybody said no. Because, I don't, we always want more. More is my drug of choice still. But do I need more? Are my needs met?
And to perhaps maybe reevaluate your own spending habits.
Mm-hmm. Budgets are really good, I've heard. Those things that help me be accountable to my bills, to the people I owe money to, right? I know a dear friend of mine, I'm probably going to mess up the specifics of it, but when she got sober, she owed a lot of money to the IRS. So when she made that financial amends, she wrote a letter explaining the situation, what she had gone through in the last year, and being very humble and, apologetic about it. The right person got that letter. The right person got that letter, and she was able to take care of all that she owed. That if you get help from the IRS, your higher powers with you. Absolutely. Anne Marie says she feels the same way as JC about support, those support networks we have. Michelle says my support system comes from the people I meet in meetings, online, at different, groups that we have some kind of interest in. To get a support network, I got to go where people.
And it's being brave enough again to put yourself back out there.
Yeah.
In lieu of all of the rejection that you've had in the past.
Absolutely. And it makes us gun shy, definitely.
It does, of course.
Mm-hmm. But if I don't risk anything, I risk even more. If I don't reach out there and get the support I need, this just for me. If I don't get this, there is no wrong way to recover, in my opinion, but there sure as shit is a harder way. And that's by ourselves, right? So go where people are. As hard as that is, take a friend that you've already got so it's not so intimidating. But we've got to get out there and make that support network happen. There are good people in this world, in this area, all over Charlotte or wherever you're living. And we just got to find them. And we're worthy of good people in our lives, right? I got to remember that too. I'm worthy to be friends with people, to love people. That's a good thing. Right. So, but I understand the support network thing. When we move, if we're shy, all these things can affect that. Let's see. JC, I have an unhealthy relationship with Amazon. We definitely need to break up. He only provides me with short-term happiness and too many unneeded shoes.
Dear Amazon, it's not me and it's not you.
It's us. Thank you, JC. I love your sense of humor.
That's so true.
It
Oh my
is.
God.
It is.
I don't know how many times that truck pulled in. My husband looked at me again.
Again, really? Really? All right, the last one we have is emotional. Coping effectively with life and creating satisfying relationships. Coping effectively with life.
That to me is the sum of all of the 8 dimensions of wellness. Because I think for me, that's the foundation.
It is. It is that I got to be able to find those coping skills. Boy, y'all are talking great today. Anne Marie says, I overlove people and never feel loved back. Oh, we're going to get back into support here. Let's get through emotional real quick so we can talk more about support. Coping effectively. It is my responsibility to find what works for me. Right? It is my personal responsibility then to use those tools to help myself feel better, to get back into a more even place. Right? I do have some power in this, and that's what I think we're seeing in this whole class today is we do have power. I can affect my emotions by what I'm thinking. And if I shift my thinking, my emotions are probably going to be more beneficial for me. Right? If I'm angry, I can shift that by distracting myself, by talking to someone. There's several things I can do if I'm angry, but it's on me. Do I want to continue in that is the question. Do I want to continue in this emotional state?
Is that self-sabotage?
Yeah, absolutely. Or I'll use things that I know don't work for me today.
That we probably used to use back then that we thought filled that void.
Yeah.
And now we replace it with other things. Shopping and food and all sorts of other things.
Things that cover up
what
I need to face.
Deep enough to work on that coping.
Absolutely. To see how we soothe ourselves. To see how we can, what we can use. I am smoking again. Smoking cigarettes again. Let me be specific. And it's not a really good coping skill for me because I don't like the consequences. But of using more beneficial coping skills because I didn't use more coping. I take the personal responsibility for that. I fell back on things that don't benefit me as much. I used to drink because it was my sole coping skill. I moved away from that because of the consequences. And then I replaced it with other things. I've fallen back into smoking, but
I think it's important to me what I hear you say is the pure and simple recognition that you're utilizing that in a format in your life and you recognize that and you're working on that to redevelop or redefine your coping skills again.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about, that personal responsibility and not doing that blame and giving somebody else that responsibility because you do this, it's causing me to smoke.
Yeah.
It's me.
I'm choosing.
Me. It's on me.
I'm choosing. I've made that choice and I'm ready to make a different choice. So I need to do that. I need to put the effort into figuring out a way I can stop smoking because it doesn't meet my need anymore. It doesn't meet it as well as other things do.
But you recognize it doesn't.
Yeah. And that's that self-assessment when I'm always trying to feel better, do better, be better. We assess where we are and we begin to put effort and energy into things that we're having difficulties with. Right. Let's see. We got Bonnie on here. Anne Marie, I want to go back to support because that seems to be something that we really need to talk about today. I overlove people and never feel loved back. Yeah, that's that rejection we was talking about. And again, we are worthy of good people and we are worthy of good things. And the problem is we've got to choose carefully because there are a lot of people in the world today that don't have my best interest, that don't have my back. But I can find those people.
Well, we love people the way we want people to love us back.
Yeah.
And it's hard in this time to find people that have the same kind of hearts as we do.
Yeah. Depending on where you look.
That's it.
Look here. We are all striving in our recovery, right? We are all striving in our recovery. And I can't do it alone today. So I got to go where people are. If somebody comes to your door and knocks on it and says, "Hi, I'm here to be your friend," close the door because there's something weird about that. Because we have to, if I have a need, I've got to take personal responsibility to get that need met. So if I need support people, I want to go where people are. Special interest groups are really good. Charlotte NC Meetup is an excellent website because it has, if you like underwater crochet, I am sure they've got a group for you on there. If you like to bowl, if you like to read, if you like to talk philosophy, go out to dinner, go to movies, whatever it is I can be interested in, I might be able to find a group to do that with. And if I come in, I always find it hard to walk into a room cold. If you don't know anybody, that's nerve-wracking. But if I have something to talk about, right?
Well, what an analogy. When you go into a room and you don't know anybody, you seek people that are like you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is no different now. You do that online.
Yeah. And as we grow in our recovery, just like we talked about before, we seek people who are spiritually more like us, right? But it's really hard to figure that out because just like me, I'm not going to put it all out there the first time we meet. I used to do that back in the day.
Which taught to be very hard because not everybody gets us.
Yeah. There's a lot of stigma still with people, around people with mental health and substance use issues. I feel the stigma sometimes.
Sometimes we get that stigma when we're in the rooms.
Yeah.
From people that have the same
stigma. Yeah.
Then you find you in the room.
There you go. There are safe places. There are places that should be safe that aren't. I'm just put that out there. There you go. But there are safe places for us to meet good people. We just got to find them. Yeah. Be patient with ourselves. Be patient with the world. Roberta's in the house. Yay. But support is critical, and I always tell this story. When I think of support, I think of the net underneath the tightrope walker. Because if I fall, which I hate to tell you, crisis will come again because that's life. But when I fall, I don't have to fall as far as I did before.
In the house, you're not going to put a roof up if you don't have a foundation. There's a process.
Absolutely.
You have to build a foundation, and then I don't know anything about construction walls.
Yeah, let's put walls up next.
But again, if you don't have that support, that strong foundation, nothing's going to withstand.
Yeah. It takes trust. I've got to be able to trust people because I have the need to vent sometimes. I have the need to talk about what's going on in my world, talk about what's going on with my mental health or substance use issues. And I need people that understand that, because if they understand that, chances are I can trust them. Safe people are out there. So
you're in a safe group right now?
That's right. That's right. We got a lot of folks in here. I'm so glad. So glad. Sandy says, trust in people. I have to be careful and kick to the curb when I feel I'm being used. Absolutely. Not everybody gets to come to our party, right? Not everybody is. I'm sorry. Right now, maybe somebody isn't worthy to be in your life, right? Maybe they're not giving you what you need. If I'm not getting my needs met in a relationship, I'm probably going to, limit that and go somewhere else where I can get my needs met, where I can get that energy. But there are people that, are not trustworthy with what I tell.
Well, and I feel like we have a far more keen intuition and a barometer for people than people not like us.
Yeah. You can't BS a BSer.
Right.
Right.
But I think that we are far more aware of people's intentions, people's reactions.
Absolutely. That gut feeling about people.
That we knew in our gut when those red flags were just a popping.
Mm-hmm.
But it was trying to fulfill a personal need for us of that social, and we have to trust ourselves and our own intuition. I think the path that we have in our mental health and our substance, because of that path, I think our spirituality, our higher power gave us another skill set, and it's that barometer. I want to be the thermostat in the room.
Yeah.
I want to be able to not just sit there and react to the temperature, but I want to change. I want to be the one that changes it.
Yeah, definitely. And it is our responsibility, like Sandy said, to kick people to the curb. If they're not, I only have so much time and so much energy. There are people I want to spend time and my energy on. So I don't want to say waste, that's not the word I want, but I don't want to give to people that don't get me, right? I need to save that part of me, that trust, that love.
Well, that time is such a precious commodity, and we want to preserve that. Be selfish.
It's okay. Absolutely. And it's our personal responsibility to, assess people. That might sound cruel that I judge people. I don't really, I guess I do judge them. Because if I am trying to get really close to somebody, if I am trying to see if I can trust somebody, I kind of do a mental evaluation. Are they trustworthy? Do they judge me? Do they show up when I need them to? Do they tell me the truth? These are things I need. And if I'm not getting those needs met, I maybe I need to go elsewhere, right?
And be mindful of the lens that we were basing these decisions on too. And kind of do a litmus test on yourself. Am I looking at them through my lens of trauma, and a look that I perceive is a look maybe I've gotten in the past, and I've already shut that relationship completely down because of me. So I have to do that self-inventory when it comes to situations like that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But support it's out there. But we got to go out and take that risk is the thing. And it's hard. It's very hard. So set yourself up for success. Find a group that has a similar interest, right? That way, if you go to a Charlotte meetup and it's about bowling and you bowl, you know, what's your high score? You know, whatever you say if you bowl. So I haven't bowled in years. You know, you can bowl without drinking. I didn't know that. You can go to a movie without drinking too. That's amazing to me. I know. I had no idea. So that personal responsibility is critical because that's where my power comes from. And if I am lax in one area, it's probably going to affect the others. So I want to be able to take a look at myself, do that self-assessment and say, okay, where are my needs not getting met? Is it physical? Is it occupational? Is it emotional? To be able to find those things that meet our need is, we want to do our best because that is our responsibility. It's no one else's responsibility to meet our needs. That's on us. So we've got to find it. We've got to find it. Hey, I want to thank all y'all for being here today. And I want to give a yell out to my dear friend Bunny for hanging out with us today. But you all were wonderful today. Thank you for the support. Thank you all of the input. Absolutely. Thank you. No, I won't say. So go out there today. Have a good time. That's what recovery is all about. Having a good time with good people, right? We got one more new. Okay. Good deal. I want to thank you. Oh, Michelle, Rappin with Sharon rocks. Oh, thank you, because last week nobody showed up and it was extremely difficult. I was like, so what do we want to talk about now? Hey, Aaron, good to see you. All right, we're going to shut it down, and we will see you next week at 1 o'clock on Thursday. See what we can come up with to talk about, see how we can help. Appreciate y'all being out there.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.